You are listening to Food for Worms, the original true crime podcast. I was born in Portland, Oregon, conceived in Illinois.
I didn't know that.
Raised in Minneapolis and St. Cloud. Da-da-da-da.
I feel like that's
Where in Illinois?
I ain't putting that out there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
So he just told us every state that he's from, but to know where he was raised in Illinois when it was 20 plus years ago,
That's fine.
that's too much info.
Yeah, fuck everybody. I don't even know that. That's fine. The really stupid noise you're all hearing is me putting a new thing inside of the Polaroid. Not a sponsor. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Food for Worms.
That's D.
I'm Darien.
And my name is Sam.
Yeah, this is America's first true crime podcast, and today we are hanging out with the homie of homies, the big bro.
Big bro.
Amo Azure. Hi.
Hello. Hello.
What up? What up?
Round two. Making up for lost time.
Yeah.
Or lost lost time on files.
Oh my god. Yeah, if you listen to episode, what was it? 18,
the last episode. Yes.
Yeah, that was there were a lot of words said about the program that we used, and they make a fine product. Except for that night. It was a raggedy asshole, and
they'll totally get your aggression, Darien.
They won't.
It's fine.
They won't. Even if they somehow thought of us as a potential thing to sponsor, they're gonna be like, nah.
But before we turn the mics on, we were talking, it's great that we're able to be here in person together.
Mm-hmm.
It's even I don't know. I enjoy it a little bit more just because I get to see your beautiful face. I get to see your beautiful face. And I don't know. I just feel like our vibes can kind of flow off of each other a little bit more naturally.
Yeah, we can all throw our proverbial, I almost said, what are the things that you throw them and they come back to you again? A boomerang. We can throw our verbal boomerangs at each other. Yeah, you're all rubber. I'm rubber. You're glue. Yeah, no, it's more like I'm a little bit country. You're a little bit rock and roll. Ammo's a little bit house music. It's fucking great. So it's we're all coming.
I like that you're the country one.
Yeah,
country, rock and roll, and house music. That's what we have everything covered from there on out. So
that's not house music. Oh Christ!
But how are you doing, Amo?
Yeah, how was your day?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm stoked to be out of the house. I have been on quarantine mode for too long. It was fine for a while there. I think Alex said the same thing, where it just recently started to really suck.
Yeah.
So being fully vaccinated and being able to get out of the house is a blessing. So,
fucking relief.
Yeah, sit there and be all mouth breathing.
Yeah, right away I was like, somebody spit in my mouth. I missed this.
Yeah. Here, Fauci said we can all start fucking again. This is great.
Don't call it a comeback, baby.
I was hoping speaking of Alex, I was hoping he was coming tonight so we could just make him sit in the corner without a mic.
You shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
So much aggression.
No, somebody's got to be working because I haven't been. So.
Yeah, he's over there selling cars from his desk.
Oh well, that's badass.
Yeah,
like Hot Wheels.
Oh, I hear that the Hot Wheels company actually gives their employees tree houses. I don't know if that's entirely true.
That's awesome.
That's what I was told in college.
Let's fact check this stuff. Someone else fact check it.
No, I don't even know.
I don't even look it up and call me a liar.
We could also just throw that out into the world because, I don't want to shatter someone's dreams that if they are working there, they could be hoping for that tree house. I don't know. I don't want to shatter it before their dreams even become a possibility.
So this is one of those work rumors. You're if you stay on for 10 years, you get a free jack. In this case, they're no, you stay on for 7 years. You're gonna get a fucking treehouse.
I don't know. That sounds a little bit too much like Scientology for me. If you hit certain theta levels. You'll get to go into the tree house of magic. You know, like I don't know if I trust that.
We get a watch if I'm there for 30 years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Then we get a jacket at the club.
Well, that's nice.
It is. You get it's first. This is the club's name, and then it has your name on it. It's embroidered and everything. But I also found out if you just give them $120, they'll just give you they'll order you a jacket anyway. So.
I'm pretty sure after that much time at my job, I just get a bag of weed.
Yeah.
You know, like somebody just shows up and is just like, congratulations.
Yeah, congrats. Yeah. Do you want an indica or do you want a sativa?
Yeah.
Or do you want an in between? So speaking of work
and weed
Speaking of work and weed, I mean, which one do you want to tackle or both simultaneously?
I would love to talk about the weed one allegedly, if that's cool. If y'all end our weed conversation, alleged weed conversation with allegedly, that'd be dope.
Yeah, allegedly.
Yeah. We're doing this incorrectly, but let's just do it allegedly, okay?
Okay.
Wonderful.
Great.
Did you want to hear my weed review?
Allegedly, yes.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I mean, for real though.
Yeah.
For real, they could talk about their weed review.
Yeah. Allegedly.
Okay.
I like that we're keeping the ambiguity.
Yeah.
I like to live my life in gray areas. So
This is full on gray.
All right. So we got an entirely uneducated yet overconfidently verbose review of the titularly titled Dream Queen by Amo Azure, age 33.
Mm-hmm.
Dramatic reading by Alan Rickman. Ooh.
Oh, R.I.P.
Okay. On offering this evening is a delicate flower plucked directly from one of Tarantino's films. Its curious terroirs exemplified by notes of new Berber carpet, as would be found in a tasteful 3-piece bedroom set rambler of a couple who can afford health insurance. Al dente to the finger poke, this seductive somnambulist features the lightest fairy kisses of nummy Cheeto fuzz. An ongoing dialectic between the playful and the pensive. The taste isn't not unlike that of a Roomba powered by existential dread. It lilts upon the palate, conjuring the flavor ghosts of Meyer lemon, petrichor, and the smell taste of licking the inside of a cedar chest, but without the fear that this may develop into an unsustainable kink. Pair the piquancy of this pulchritudinous plant with a dish of mussels and young white wine and an unshakable and invasive thought that your hands are slowly shrinking in front of you for a night filled with wonder.
Oh my God.
That was fucking amazing. At the beginning, like you said, Alan Rickman.
Yeah.
So like the whole time I'm picturing him in Dogma because like when he pulls his pants down and he has no private parts.
Yeah.
So I just pictured that the whole time, and then you said Tarantino, and that sounds like the readings in between the scenes in like Kill Bill. Mm-hmm. So and then just hearing all the words like those two things just set the mood for me.
Yeah.
So that was just perfect. I love that. That was great.
Yeah, you had me at mouthfeel.
Oh.
That was great.
Wait, did I say mouthfeel? Maybe I just thought it really loud.
And Cheeto fuzz. Cheeto fuzz.
Yeah.
That was great.
That was fucking awesome. Thank you very much for sharing
You are very welcome.
your alleged weed review. This is great. We're going to take one quick break. We'll be right back, everybody.
Oh, okay, cool.
Talk about ammo and tattooing, and I'd love to hear some stories about some random stories that you feel like sharing about bogeys
Yeah.
and bodily fluids. So
Yeah. No, the booger story is
gross.
kind of, it lives in infamy now at the tattoo shop. You know, and to kind of set the stage, I used to work as a teacher. Like I worked with little kids, so a lot of my time was spent, trying to figure out where the pee was, or like, maybe there's a poopy in the toy box, and I'd have to go around at the end of my day and just sniff chairs. That was like it was just
Out of context. That's so
in context.
yeah.
It doesn't get better. So like at the time, it wasn't uncommon for a 3-year-old to just, sneeze into my open mouth, like directly into my open mouth. And, you know, I felt it was kind of like an inoculation at the time. You know, I built up quite an immunity. But then I'm a tattoo artist now, so there should be none of that.
Yeah, no poopy in the toy box.
No poopy in the toy. Like, the amount of times that I have had to encounter the bodily fluids of adults, just we're not talking about blood or normal tattoo thing, just, you know, you're really close up on people, and people have disgusting bodily functions, and that's kind of just part of the job that they don't tell you about.
So have you had to find the pee?
You know, I've not had to sniff out the pee.
Okay.
And I've not had a client poop in my chair, but it's more common than you would think it would be.
I mean, I could imagine, I guess, because people get scared in the chair.
You know, they pass out, then all of a sudden their bodily functions are just out.
Yeah, no, we had one guy come in, and this is not my story, but I was in the shop, so I feel like I can relay some of it.
Yeah.
So my coworker was tattooing this guy on his, like, on the back of his thigh, and he had his pants pulled down, and there was just a poopy. Just a poopy in his underwear.
What the fuck?
Just saving it for later.
No.
Yeah, and
like a little Babe Ruth.
Yeah,
God
just a poopy, an
Gross.
entire poopy, and you know, she was like, "You didn't do that with me being here. Like, you didn't do that right now. You've been carrying this, you know, around with you."
Fuck? Was it like I don't know why I was gonna ask for specifics.
No,
oh my God.
You don't want specific.
No,
none of us want this.
Oh God.
Well, and like, I don't know. I've cleaned up over the years. I definitely used to be a lot grosser, but like when I go into a tattoo shop, I try to be a little bit more cleanly than I normally am on the day to day, because I know someone's going to be in close proximity of my gear or my feet or my, you know, whatever.
Can you clarify what gear is?
The smelly bits.
Okay. Or
tush and junk.
I usually just say bits, so that the hearers must refer to their junk as gear. Is amazing.
I refer to mine as a manhole.
There it
is. But I just find it odd that that's the day that he decided to carry it around with him. Is when he's like, I'm gonna go hang out with this person that's gonna do some work on me.
Some people, they don't have any fucking, I don't know, like some people they have a block and they just think that shit's okay. Gross.
Well, the thing was, like, he came in with other people, and they were sitting in the station. So it was like, you know, we're all looking at this woman like, are you fucking this guy? Because if you're fucking this guy, like, we need to have a conversation. Yeah. You're too good. You look too good for this.
Yeah. Do you need help?
Yeah. Do you want an out?
Yeah. Like,
you know.
What's like the worst? I mean, I don't know if that's like something that you'd like to talk about, but like horrible ideas that you absolutely like wouldn't want to tattoo, that people come in with like all the time, that are like, "Hey, would you tattoo this on me?" Just because I know that there are like cliche ones that like it's just it wouldn't be fun to tattoo, you know.
Okay, I want to start off by saying that even your cliche tattoos, you know, if it means something to you, if you find it special, then fuck everybody else. You know, if you want to go out there and get your Pinterest tattoo and that's what makes you happy, like, fucking rock it.
Yeah. If you want Drake tattooed across your forehead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, live your best life. Yep. Like, I'm not here to judge that, but
well, I mean, I guess I'm more
being said.
Yeah. I more so just mean like there are horrible ideas still. So
yes there are. So okay, so when I was still an apprentice, I had a guy come in with his boyfriend, and his boyfriend was getting extensive work done for my then terrible mentor. So he was just kind of sitting around on the couch, and you know, I had nothing to do, so I was sitting there talking to him, and he's like, you know, since you're around, like, maybe you can do a tattoo for me. And at the time, I was so hungry. You know, I took on literally everything. And,
right.
You know, I could barely pay my bills. So I was like, sure, yeah, man. And he's like, okay, I want some tribal. And I'm like, I don't. God. In my mind, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck tribal even looks like, you know, out of Hot Topic. Like, I don't. So I'm like, sure. Yeah. No, I do tribal. That's great. Like, what are you kind of thinking? So he starts spinning me this web of, you know, all kinds of different points and angles and, you know, mathematic equations that, you know, only he could understand. And I was just like, okay, cool. Yeah, sure. This is going to cost a lot. And he was like, wait, what? Like, what do you mean? And I'm like, no, like, this sounds like a sleeve. This is going to cost a lot of money. And he was just like, no, like, absolutely not. And then he had me draw the design about 8 times, and I had nothing better to do. So I was just like, yeah, sure. So I'm fucking drawing all this shit.
But if you did have shit to do, that'd be so fucking...
If I did have shit, like, okay, when I finally got to the point in my career where I had shit to do, like, this guy fucked off.
Right.
Of his own accord. I didn't have to tell him to fuck off. But, okay, so he draws, like, okay, he has me draw this thing so many times. I finally just get to a point where I'm like, fucking draw it yourself. Like, draw it yourself. You obviously have a vision. He spends probably an hour on this thing, comes back with 2 kind of opposing pointy stripes, and they were kind of crisscrossing, and he was like, that's it. This is perfect. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, that'll sure, whatever. I'll charge you $75. And he's like, I want it done in brown ink because I want it to look like a mole, like a tribal mole.
Oh my god!
And
a
I was
tribal
just,
mole.
I was just like, I really want to do it in black. It's not going to age very well. You know, I started using something as foreign to him as logic. And immediately he was just like, no.
Like, I want these 2 Snicker bars on my body.
Yeah, I want this tribal bacon. These bacon strips. So
that would be cooler. That would be cooler.
That's the name of the episode. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was my name for the guy. Tribal bacon. So, anyways, tribal bacon is like, you know, my other artist who's of a higher caliber than you. He did a piece for me, and I want you to see it, so maybe you can kind of get a feel for what I'm looking for. And I was like, sure. So so he lifts up his shirt, and he's got a bunch of like random squiggly gray lines all over his chest that kind of look like varicose veins. You know, I'm looking at it trying to figure out where the tattoo is and why his skin looks so fucked up. So, and he tells me that the morning of his tattoo, he woke up on these sheets and they created wrinkles and folds on his skin. So he immediately ran to the tattoo shop and told his artist, please recreate these folds on my skin of my sheets. And he was just like, yeah, do you think you can do something like this? And I was like, no. And he was just like, yeah, I thought this was kind of above.
Oh my god.
Well, and like,
oh fuck him.
Yeah.
Oh fuck that. God damn it.
Well, but like, why are you wanting to recreate that? You already have your folds done. Why are you wanting, like? I think this is above your caliber. You can't recreate this stuff I have going on.
This is the type of motherfucker that if they had more, if they were rich, they'd be spending money on really dumb shit. They're like, I want to wake up in Malibu. I want to be in Malibu when the sun rises tomorrow. So I'm going to change my flight 8 times from wherever it is I am. They're that type of person. They're the type of person that would be like, I would like a donkey and a we were talking about earlier, a fucking giraffe. Albino giraffe in my backyard tomorrow for an art piece.
That sounds cool.
It would be cool, but you'd also be fucking broke.
I've got a giraffe.
Yeah, I know you do. Actually, it's really tight. Who did that for you again?
Mr. Benny Bonema.
Yeah, it is. There, it is tight.
My first legitimate tattoo, and it was in the most painful place, and still the most painful. I have my whole chest done, but like my ribs were more painful than fucking anything. Like towards my armpit, and that was the first like big piece I ever got. And I have to say, Amo, I'm happy that you're here because Alex brings up every time I talk to him my crow tattoo, and I'm just like, yeah, I know, Amo did a great job.
Alex can chill on that stuff
Yeah.
a little bit because, yeah, we have a piece of his that's not been touched for way longer than like we can make excuses about like pandemic and all this. He just, I can't pin him down.
Yeah. Well,
We're like ships in the night.
They live together. So it's
But we live together, and we've been like trapped in the same tiny little 1-room apartment for ever.
a year.
Right.
Yeah. No, I love it. Yeah. Last time he was getting tattooed, I think I came in and he was having a hard time. We love you, buddy. Anyway.
Oh, does he have a hard time getting tattooed?
I mean, I think we all kind of do.
We all do.
After a point,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh,
I think,
yeah.
I think there's a point where you reach a certain level of tattoos where just after that you're just kind of like, oh my god, this is like wet lightning.
Yeah.
Like I fucking hate it.
Emma, when you were doing my neck, oh my god.
No, the neck is not fun.
The neck was a terrible tattoo. If you're gonna get it, just get it, but don't go in there and be like, people that try to look at you with a straight face, but I love getting tattoos. Like I like getting tattoos as well for the after thing of because now I have this piece on my body that I've always wanted.
Right.
It may say people disappointed, pizza is forever, but that's what I wanted. And it hurt like a motherfucker, but I'm not gonna sit there and say I fucking enjoyed it. People
that is not Darien's neck tattoo, by the way.
No, some
Huh?
people legitimately do enjoy it. Like,
Oh, yeah.
some people enjoy it too much.
Yeah.
I mean, the people.
Yeah.
That's something that I can actually speak to.
Yeah.
Also, as
Please.
far as weird client stuff. Friends, this is a PSA from your local tattoo artist, and I mean this with all the love in my heart. Do not come to my shop and make sex noises while I'm tattooing you. Do not. You can control that shit. Like
Bury it.
Yeah, no,
Oh, you're talking to the friends out in Food for Worms land.
yes,
Yeah.
all of
I thought you were talking to like us personally
that's
because
not
I
a
don't know if
thing.
I've ever done that on someone's tattoo table.
Both of you were fine to tattoo. Both of you were wonderful clients.
Yeah. Yeah, no thank you. I couldn't imagine sitting there like zzz.
It happens all the time, and the entire shop knows that it's you.
Oh,
the
no.
entire shop knows what your sex noises sound like, and none of us signed up for that. You know, like
We're getting Darien's whole repertoire of,
We are
of
not.
his first one. Oh! his fucking face. Oh! And then the other one, you're like, what the fuck are you doing? Because that does not sound like sex at all. So next time you're getting tattooed, you got to go, oh!
I'm not gonna do that. No, because they know me at the shop and I ain't doing that, but it'd be really good.
no. I used to have one client who he was waiting until marriage to have sex because that's what Jesus said. And he would tell me all about his fiance, and his thing was he wanted to get Bible verses near his junk, and the entire time I was tattooing him, he would like hum hymns or like sing
Jeez.
Bible songs.
Oh man.
And I was, there comes a point, folks, where I'm not qualified to be your therapist, and I'm also not qualified to be your dominatrix. Like, that's a real job. Probably costs about as much as a tattoo, and you'll get a better service. Because if you start making those noises in my chair, we're gonna have a conversation.
Yeah. You're gonna be leaving with a not done tattoo.
Yeah.
Or charging more.
Yeah. No, I do charge more for booger projectiles.
Yes.
That's a thing too.
It shouldn't be. Yeah, no, it 100% shouldn't be. I was tattooing a individual who shall remain nameless on their chest. So I was very close, and this was before COVID, so I wasn't wearing a mask or anything. I was obviously wearing my normal PPE, but nothing really covering a lot of my skin. So yeah, I'm tattooing this guy, and all of a sudden he just kind of makes a noise like and I look down, and there's a booger like attached to my arm.
Oh,
like a big old bug, and we're inches apart. I'm like right in his face because I'm tattooing him right underneath his collarbone.
Right.
So I just stop, and he looks at me, and I look at him, and we both look at the booger. I just take my gloves off, go to the wash station, think about chewing my arm off at the elbow. I'm thinking through all of the different kind of like intensive cleaning solvents that we have and how bad they'll be for my skin.
Yeah. Oh,
so I go back after cleaning my arm, and I'm expecting some sort of apology because we definitely had a moment.
Yeah.
We had eye contact. We had eye contact to booger. There was an understanding of what the fuck just happened. This guy says nothing. He just sweats it out the entire tattoo with me looking at him like, you sinner.
Yeah, well, and,
sinner.
well, and that's the thing is like you should address that, apologize, and then make it goofy so that you guys can have a good time and move forward. Like,
there's totally
it's already
ways
an
to,
awkward situation.
Yeah, you can save yourself from that.
Exactly. Like, address it, call yourself out on it, and then go elsewhere from there. Like, like just
and then move states.
Exactly. Like, you guys could still have a good time, but I don't know if I'd want to sit there and have just an awkward scenario. Like, the person's gonna understand if you fucking apologize.
Yeah, it's like, look, sometimes things happen.
Right.
Out of your nose.
Out of your nose.
Is this
Onto my
person
arm.
is this person still a client of yours?
Nope.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say they need a portrait of Booger from Revenge of the Nerds with his beer can that he crushes and whatever.
Yeah, Darien got me a sign. Actually, it's a little cross stitch that lives in my station, and it says $50 for Booger projectiles.
Yep. You can all thank Third Daughter, Restless Daughter.
Yes.
Third Daughter, Restless Daughter?
Yeah, they're cross stitch.
Yeah, they also made me one that says, please do not wee on the floor, because we had a client that, peed on the floor about 4 times in their 3-hour session.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
My favorite cross stitch I saw was in someone's bathroom, and it says, please don't do cocaine on my toilet. Is that yours?
Yeah.
That's in your bathroom? Yeah.
All of my cross stitch, all of it is exclusively from Third Daughter, Restless Daughter.
That's so great.
Shout outs to you.
Yeah, they're on. They're not a sponsor, but everyone should check them out. They are on Instagram. They're on Etsy. Really easy to work with. Yu Vang and Won Vang. They are great people. So
yeah, I wanna check that out.
Let's do. Oh, actually, they made me a damn Gina one. I was gonna have them do a Food for Worms 1 and 2. So.
Well, thanks, Steve.
Oh no, that's gonna be for me. I'm not.
Okay,
sorry,
cool,
buddy.
cool,
Yeah.
cool.
Tight. Anyway, we'll be right back. Me and Sam are gonna start a blood feud really quick.
I can't wait.
Yeah, here it is.
I think Muppets should just be extras in movies like Mad Max Fury Road.
Yep.
Just have one of the war boys be a Muppet, die right away, and then it's just the rest of the movie.
What's their bit when they're like, you're like shiny and chrome? Is it?
Oh yeah, no, they're like, witness me.
Witness me.
So it'd be like one Muppet being like, witness.
Well, the for folks at home, if you haven't heard of us talk about it before, the game that we have played in the past is where we put Muppets as certain characters in films. And Darren, what was the one you were talking about? Did you have Jurassic Park?
Jurassic Park. Mine is all the humans. They're all human. But all the dinosaurs are Muppets. So it gets like real weird real quick. You're thinking like it's gonna be like it's still the same majestic. They still react the same way normally, but there is a Muppet-sized version of the creature. So Muppet Velociraptor, same scene. Same exact scene. She's like, Dr. Hammond, we're back in business. Ah, hello. And then she reacts, and Laura Dern fucking freaks out and runs away the same way. Samuel L. Jackson's arm throws up on her shoulder, and she's like, oh no. And he just runs, and then you have Dr. Ian Malcolm being like, faster, faster, faster. And yeah, the whole thing. It would be. You want to talk about chaos?
I love that.
What would be yours, Sam?
Heavyweights.
Yep.
Yeah, we're
nice.
And like the one character that would be a Muppet is Tony Perkis, so Ben Stiller's character, and then
Beautiful.
all of the kids that are at the camp, and he's just this psycho Muppet doing yoga at the top of a hill, and like I just watched this actually last week because we had Brianne and Andy over, and I don't know if they had seen it in forever, and I had to remind them how great this movie was. It was Judd Apatow's first movie, which I completely forgot about and remembered that.
Wasn't he a cameraman?
No, that was the dude from Grandma's Boy. Which But yeah, that guy is the caddy from Happy Gilmore. All those different characters from Billy Madison, Adam Sandler film. Sorry, but no, like my favorite scene is at the end when he like breaks out of his little fucking pen or whatever, and all the parents are there for parent night at the camp or whatever, and he comes out and he's walking across. And his clothes are all torn, his hair's fucking insane, and he's just smashing pitchers on the floor so he can walk across them as he's talking to everybody. He's just slamming all the glass down, but I just picture a puppet with all these fucking kids.
Would it be Gonzo?
Gonzo?
I feel like it would be Gonzo.
Gonzo, like a mixture of Gonzo and Animal, just because Animal's just so off the fucking walls. So once he like loses his mind, it's like Animal, but Gonzo can definitely keep his shit together a little bit more, but he's still a little wackadoo.
Oh my god!
My favorite was always Rizzo, though. I'm a huge Muppet fan, and Rizzo was always my favorite.
Was he the rat?
Yeah, and he's like my favorite, like the Muppets Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
he's great.
so fucking sarcastic, and like
He's a
him and Gonzo just going off of each other. They're just hating on each other, but they love each other. And I don't know. I love. We could do a full fucking episode on Muppets.
How about this one? The Lighthouse, but it's Rizzo and Gonzo. or it's a Muppet and then Willem Dafoe. or it could be what's his name, Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
With a Willem Dafoe Muppet. And it's just the idea
Willem
is
Dafoe
like,
is a fucking Muppet.
it's just like two guys going insane in this lighthouse. So it changes the entire tone of the movie if it's like one guy in a Muppet.
Right.
I still haven't seen it, but I've seen like random scenes. One of my little homie Abby, they fucking love The Lighthouse. They're like, you have to watch it.
It's fantastic.
Every time I tell them that I haven't seen it, they get upset. So
it's really fantastic. It's more Lovecraftian than not.
Okay.
But not as racist.
Right? One more. All right.
Yeah.
The entire film, all the characters in all the characters are Muppets, except for one character.
Okay.
Boondock Saints.
I was just thinking that when she was when they were talking about that one. Yeah, I just said that.
All right. But yeah, Willem Dafoe would be the only human.
That's wonderful. He looks great in drag.
He's like, there was a firefight, and he just do it on the whole fucking. No, it was Willem Dafoe and the guy that plays Rocco.
Yeah, Rocco.
Nice.
Yeah. Rocco.
He was serial crushed by some big freaking guy.
We got a serial crusher theory. I know who's getting I want 2 creams with my coffee. And he turns the opera on, and he's like, that's how he just does his gig. I always thought that was so fucking brilliant.
No, he carries that whole movie.
Because for sure. And that's how my brain works best too. Like we've talked about that in the past too, like working on things, like what music helps your brain the best. Like obviously he would have a Walkman on hand just to throw some opera so he can go figure this shit out.
He's walking through some mass carnage. Yeah, that's what settles my beating heart for a little bit. Yeah, y'all want to talk about love?
I would love to talk
I had one more.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Because I was like trying to think of like what characters remind me, like who could be a Muppet in themselves, and I think David Spade in Joe Dirt. Is a Muppet character that I could see as an actual puppet. Yep. Like the little mullet with the fucking sideburns, and then he's in his little Muppet car and like going through life. Like I love the adventure movies where like it's one or a couple people going through and meeting all these random characters. Like he blows up a bunch of shit with fireworks with the guy that only plays with snakes and sparklers.
I haven't seen the movie in a long time, but I remember when it first came out. Like, it obviously doesn't age well in many ways, but I just know back then everybody's like, it's so risque. And I was like, and I finally watched it on my own. I was kind of like, this movie is little risque, but this is not like motherfuckers acting like it was like Pulp Fiction. It
right.
Was like, it really wasn't. It was like
the most risque thing is that the dog's nuts freeze to the porch, and he's like, can you get something to help him get his nuts off the porch? And she comes out with a fucking like hedge clippers, and he's like, ow, no, like get some warm water or something.
I don't know. They're the only quotes that pop up on my end from me. They're just kind of like, nah, that one doesn't need to be said out loud anymore. But they're pretty good. Who was it? The very beginning that played Joe Dirt as a kid. It was the kid that played Dewey in Malcolm in the Middle, right?
Oh yeah.
I wonder where he is.
Dewey?
Yeah, we brought him up before. I'm always wondering, like, hey, buddy, we hope that you're okay.
Yeah, I don't even know that actor's name, but dude, come on the podcast. Yeah. We want to know where you're at. We want to know how you're doing. You can bring Frankie Muniz. You guys can come hang out.
They don't talk.
And the two older brothers, you can bring them along.
And Bryan Cranston, I'm sure he's available for everything.
Oh, totally. Yeah, he would be the one out of all of them that would be available.
He is the one who knocks. Love. And we're back. That was abrupt, right?
I like that.
Uncomfortable?
No, you're keeping it spicy. I like that.
Right?
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm just fast and loose, guys. Fucking fast and loose. Sorry. What are your love languages?
Like how to like show and how the ways that you accept love type of thing, like love languages both. Like that.
It's
like
both.
I'm like a combo of two things. Like I give gifts, and I like that's like spontaneously. That's like, oh, I'd like to get this for this person. This makes me think of them, and I feel like that's a way of showing love. And then like I like giving, like, tickling my wife's back, or like rubbing her feet. Yeah. Like, I don't know, doing something. I guess they're both like actions for someone, but one's like a thing, and then the other one's like I don't know, doing a.
So you like tickling your wife's back? I was saying that's great.
Well, yeah, like a night, like at the end of the night, like watching a movie, like tickling her feet, rubbing her back, whatever,
No, you said tickle. For me, tickling is a form of torture, and that's fine. But I was just
no. There's like a calm form of tickling, and then there's like poking someone in the fucking stomach. So I mean, there's two separate things.
That's what tickling is.
Darien, we have known each other, I think, very well for some time now. I would never tickle you.
Don't.
I would absolutely never even.
And I would never think about doing it to you either.
No.
There is a mutual respect of being like, we just look at each other, we're like, nah.
Yeah.
We don't fuck around like that.
We don't need a tickle.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, I'm the odd man out. Like I'm not getting into any tickle fights or anything, but I definitely I can get down. You know?
So the way that your love languages are the way you give your love language is
acts of kindness and gifts.
Words.
Yeah.
And how do you like to receive your love languages?
Like I like a lot of like verbal, because I'm a very like I'm never like full. I'm super neurotic, and I'm never like sure of myself. So like someone telling me that they love me, just to like reassure in my insecure brain, like that they love me, like hearing that. So I mean, I guess that, and I take like compliments and objects from people, and it makes me feel like awkward and whatever. So I guess just, I don't know, have a conversation with me and have a genuine moment with me. Like you and I, when we were able to go out to bars, that was like my favorite time, because I love you, and that's what we would do before we had the podcast. You and I would just go to a bar, and even if we didn't have a drink, we'd just sit down for 45 minutes or an hour, and that was like a form of like love. You know, we're just, hey, here's 45 minutes of my time. Let's just have a moment. And I think that's like, I think, a large way I like to,
So it's words of affirmation and quality time.
Yeah,
that's how you like to receive.
Yeah, thanks for putting that into a title, because I didn't know how to put it.
You said it. You just didn't use those words. Fuck yeah, good on you, bud. How about you, Emma?
I would have to say that I like more tactile relationships. So when it comes to receiving love, I like, when you and I are having a moment and you just, kind of swap me with your hand, or like, kind of you do this thing where it's just a little touch, and I love that. Like it feels very natural. And I think part of that might just be my life is lived, you know, with gloves and masks and was, you know, even before the pandemic to a degree.
Right.
You know, where I touch people for a living, but there's always that barrier, you know. So if you and I are having physical contact directly, you know, that's a huge thing for me.
Yeah.
So that's how I like to receive love. As far as the way that I show love, I would have to say that I'm a gift giver. I like, you know, I like making things for people. So maybe acts of service too.
Yeah.
You know?
And you're a badass artist, so both on the skin and on the canvas.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like if you haven't seen Amo's art, check it out on, you know, the stuff. But well, I don't know. You know what I mean by the stuff. Yep. But out in the world, but like, I don't know, like accepting or getting a gift of art, like, is just amazing. Yeah, and you do great things, is what I'm saying. Like that's a great gift for anybody.
Yeah, because like you're the way that you do it for a living, but it's like I took time to do this, and it shows even more because you are really meticulous in what you do, especially when you fucking get into it. So hell yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. That feels really good.
Yeah. How about you?
I don't have one, and I'm not sharing.
What? You brought it up.
I know, right? Isn't it weird?
Yeah. No, fucking tell me, bitch.
I would say I appreciate words of affirmation. But it hits me weird in a way because I don't know. It's not necessarily like insecurity, but it's just like anybody says like I'm proud of you. It's like I'm like I'm always just kind of what is of what? Because I have this deep seated self loathing that's just kind of there that's always going to be there, but I don't let it drag me down too far.
Right.
And then I like to give and receive quality time more than anything because I definitely like try to make time for people and for friends. And if anybody does that for me and I recognize that, then that you can I will follow you into the fucking pits of Tartarus if it fucking means that we get to hang out.
Right.
Some shit. And yeah. And then that's also like how you can lose me too. Like if I feel like you're not willing or able to, like if you're not able to, that's fine. Cause then like we talked about before in our past episodes, it's like people have their own lives, they have shit going on. And then, I guess I like to give gifts, but I'm like really specific about them. So it's like if it's like this is like the perfect thing I think it's gonna be like for you, then it's like fuck yeah, but I don't want to be there when you open it. I'd rather drop it off and then be like, and then get your text and thank you so much, but I'm going to ignore it for like 3 hours because I was busy.
Yeah, D just comes by this past weekend and stops, knocks at our door randomly, and he just drops off a WWE like a SmackDown T-shirt or WrestleMania, and it has the Ultimate Warrior because we had talked about the Ultimate Warrior and the T-shirts they have at Target. So obviously you were just at Target and you're like, Sam, here, take this shirt. I gotta go buy, and then just left. And I was like, thanks, D.
Yeah, I walked out, I was like, hi. My baby, and I gave the little one a hug, and I was like, all right, y'all have a nice afternoon. But yeah, no, learning about our love. I wish I knew what love languages were growing up because I didn't understand. Because like because it helps me, and it has helped me understand the why I do things and why some people do things.
Well, and it helps you understand past like people
Yes.
that have shown you love in your past, you know, like because different people show it in different ways. You have different relationships, you know, like some that are around and have always been around, and then some that aren't at all. And you just understand those people, and you know, maybe if they were shitty, you could throw them a bone too. You know, the more you understand people, the less some people suck too.
Yeah, for me, it helped me like love languages and understanding that helped me understand who I was at the time and who they were at the time, and then whether or not we end up throwing each other a bone proverbially.
Right.
Been, at least like if I'm able to look back at those past relationships, I can be like, I was this way at this time.
Sure.
And I didn't have a way to fully articulate that at that time. And now I can do that now if we were able to get to that point. You know what I mean? That makes sense?
No, I think that's actually one of the coolest things about being in my 30s is I feel like I've got myself pretty figured out. And it in that security, I feel like I'm more ready to accept other people and different, you know, viewpoints and different, you know, ways of expression. Just because I'm confident in myself at this point.
Yeah, because like definitely in your 30s, because when you're in your 20s and, you know, teens, whatever, you're like second guessing each thing that they're saying, each thing you're saying. Is that the right thing I said? And I can still do that sometimes, but like it's not a constant fucking thing. Well, like when you're in high school or college or whatever, you know.
Everything's so fucking heavy too. Oh my God.
For sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're talking about love. What is your definition of love? I know we've talked about this in the past, but like in your eyes, what does it mean to, you know, love somebody?
For me, to love somebody is to love them despite their whatever's going on with them.
Their shortcomings?
Not shortcomings, I guess. It's like, I think we all have our shortcomings, and I guess, but it's like if somebody's going through some shit, you don't necessarily take on all of it. You don't necessarily like put up with all of it, but you love them anyway. You give them space to be who they are and for them to become who they are, who they're going to become.
Right.
And if you're both still there after it's all done, then that's love.
Yeah, I think love is definitely a lot of growing together and continually choosing that person. You know, it's work. Love is an active thing. You know, you can't just love someone and expect you to carry that, you know, or expect that to carry you through the hard times.
Right. Well, that was like a weird thing for me to learn, because I just thought that, you know, I meet somebody and then we're just gonna become friends, and then like, oh, we're super close now. Like, no, that's not how it works. You have to grow with this human. You know, some people don't click right away, but that was me also just having to be accepted by everybody, and like probably be some needy thing inside of myself looking for maybe some even not real type of love, I guess. I don't know. I think there's different types of love too. You know, my kids, like a way different. That's the epitome of all love for, you know, my offspring. And
then there's a love that you choose over and over again, like the friendship.
Right.
That kind of love and shit. Yeah, I feel that. For me growing up, it took me a long time to like unlearn it, but there was a part of me that I knew it was wrong, but it was just kind of like ingrained in me just because of what it was around me. But like growing up, love was kind of transactional to a point. And for me to grow up and be like, and transactional just being like I did this thing for you, so you need to put up with everything that I put you through.
Yep.
So it's like like nah, not even kind of, homie.
so kind of holding something on you because someone did, and I know exactly. I can relate to that so much, dude.
Yeah, like I didn't really bring it over into my adulthood, but even as a kid, I knew like that's not what that's supposed to be like. Gross.
Yeah, but at the same time, like until you know something different, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
You know, like when I got together with Alex, it had never worked like that before. You know, which is why I knew I wanted to marry the guy. Like within the first year of being with him, I was like, this is. At first, it was weird and uncomfortable because I was like not used to somebody treating me that way.
Well, it's scary, the unknown. Like
it is scary.
Yeah,
real, you know, solid love like that is it's a lot. You know,
you don't know if it's genuine. You know, like at first, yeah.
There was also this idea growing up in my family where like you make it work no matter what. It's like, I'm like, no, as an adult. but it was interesting to watch. And then as an adult now, looking back at all of it and then being like, those people were also growing and they were becoming who they are now. And it took them a while to get out of that mindset or behavior or those relationships, but they've become who they are and they are better for it in many ways. In some ways they're not, but.
Well, and we've talked in the past about like, you know, friendship, and I was talking about it earlier, like friendships or just relationships in general, like growing apart, and that's just natural and healthy and whatever. And you can have love for somebody that was in your life prior, but if you guys aren't at the same point and, you know, you don't have them directly in your life, or you guys can't have that relationship you once had, like you could still have love for somebody. You know, that's like another different type of love, I think.
Yeah, no, I believe in loving people from fucking arm's length. How's it arm's length? Let's say entire fucking block's length. Like, I love you over there.
Yeah, for sure. You know, and some people, you know, take more energy to be around, which is not necessarily a bad thing. You know, it's just, you know, some people require more of your attentions, and more reassurance. Sometimes they need more, emotional work. And if you love that person, it's not a chore to give that to them.
Right.
But, then there's also those friends where, like it's like Darien, when you come over, me and Alex are like in our underwear, just kind of being piles of shit.
There are times you always walk inside, you're both being like, hey. I'm like, no one's getting dressed. Word. I'm gonna sit down.
This is how we're doing things.
Well, and that's true love, man. Like, I don't know, just accepting anybody however they're going to be at that point of time. Yeah, like, I just wanted to see you. It doesn't matter if you're in your underwear or not.
I think it's a privilege to be able to get up to a friendship like that. And then we were talking about like loving people from far away, but it's like also when you do make the time and you do know that, because this is a friend that might take a little bit more, it's all about those managed expectations as well of that friendship, because that's like, this is a friend that I love them and I'm going to be there for them when we're able to do that. But hopefully both people have the understanding of like what that is and what that means for both people.
Well, I think that just comes down to setting up healthy boundaries for yourself, and that's something that I had no idea how to do for a really long time. It took, probably until I started hitting my 30s that it was like, oh yeah, no, I don't have to tolerate people all of the time if they're being toxic or, if they're even if they're just a lot of work. Sometimes it's okay for me to be like, I need to just take a step back.
I feel that. Just the toxicness of old friendships, and like, we're always gonna be friends, everything's gonna be great forever. No, like, you're thinking that when you're like 17.
Well, right.
And then also, as we're learning and growing, the things that we put up with, that list gets smaller, hopefully, as you get older.
Yes, it does.
Shit. So it's like, as you get older and shit, and then you see this new person, you're like, wow, all these things are not okay about you, and I don't even know why you're here still or why I'm putting up with it. So I'm gonna go. Bye. Probably forever. you just let go. But that's just letting people go is also a part of love.
Hell
for
yeah.
yourself more than anything.
Well, and
that's
that's what the whole boundaries thing with what Amo's saying. Like,
for sure,
you need to have boundaries with yourself and with other people. Like, what you're going to tolerate from other people. Like Amo's saying.
Well, what did you think love was when you were growing up?
When I was growing up,
it
was always very confusing because I'm an only child of two separate parents. They were divorced when I was very young and little, and both of them show love in they're very like polar opposites. So like, my brain has always been like a battle of how I'm supposed to show love, how I'm supposed to accept it, how I'm, like, basically that's been how it is. It's polar opposites with literally everything. And that's how my brain, when I was in therapy and stuff, that was like a large part of me talking about it. It's just knowing how to go about doing anything. And with love, it was like one person, they were very much like the verbal, like telling me, I love you. That's what we're going to leave it at. And the other person was literally like, hey, here's a gift. And, we're going to go do this thing. And this is me like doing this thing for you that I want to make something special out of this. And then like other stuff, like, I'm not going to specify which households and whatever, but like, I also had, kind of that, the thing like you were saying, like sometimes it could be held about like over my head to where it was like some resentment came from my side going into it. Cause it's like, is that really love?
Yeah.
If like if there's going to be like a contingency or
like you start getting too
like
chummy with the other one, then the other one starts acting funny type shit.
Well, and just like, oh, I did this, so we should have this type of relationship. Like, how can you have any expectations because I didn't ask you to do this thing or whatever? And I'm grateful for everything that my parents did for me, but like that type of confusion just fucked me up for a long time. And I think I've gotten closer with, I have less friends now, but I'm closer with the friends I have. And I have a wife and a beautiful daughter. So like my understanding of love, I guess, it's way different from when I was a kid because I gained that understanding with having my own child, I think.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and I'm still fucking confused about most anything, but yeah.
How about you, Hammer?
How did I think of love? Well, I didn't really see it a lot at home. You know, my house was not a loving home. It was a very toxic place. So I had to look outside of that in order to understand what love was, because I wasn't getting it, you know, with my family. You know, and part of it was my then boyfriend and his family. They kind of took me in, and his father, who is a surgeon, was you know, was very influential in shaping kind of how I saw a lot of political things. And his mother was like a yoga instructor and very active in the community as far as like driving for Meals on Wheels. Unfortunately, they both passed away, but they were pivotal in teaching me what a healthy, loving relationship could really look like.
Right.
And it was in stark contrast to what I saw at home, you know, or what I saw on TV. Because like at the time, you know, what was it, like the 90s? So they were feeding, you know, all kinds of weird notions of like, you know, the nice misunderstood guy who's, you know, who's just secretly looking for you to come along and change him, you know. There was just all kinds of shit that got, you know,
or the lovesick helpless woman in like some TV shows, that it's just like, what, how is, you know, that's what you're supposed to be expecting out of this scenario, like and obviously people can relate with different things.
No, I felt like I was sold a notion that, you know, you just have to fall in love with someone, and then after that it's easy,
right,
you know, and it's forever, you know. So and that idea kept me in a lot of toxic relationships, you know, thinking that, you know, because I loved this person at one time, like you were saying, like I would then tolerate all of this toxic or abusive behavior because I thought, you know, love would carry us through.
We gotta stick it out.
You know, and it that stuff just, it doesn't fucking fly with me anymore. You know, like Alex and I have a policy of like, if, you know, we do grow apart, it's going to have to be that, you know, the door is always there, the exit is always there, you know, and really what that is just kind of our promise to like, okay, I'm gonna keep the lines of communication open,
be an adult,
you know, like especially in our relationship, because Alex identifies as a straight man, and I identify as a trans man, and pansexual. So you know, we have kind of the odds stacked against us. I mean, like, you think about the statistics for what a normal quote unquote, you know, heterosexual,
what's normal,
you know, heteronormative relationship, a marriage would last. And I don't even know what the statistics for that are, you know, but it's, the odds of staying together are so slim in America. And then you throw in all of these other complicating factors, and it's like, man, you better be up on your therapy, and you better be, you know, cool with communicating with each other.
Well, and that's it. Like, you guys, when I've seen you speak to each other, I can just tell that you guys are good at communicating. And you know, I don't see you guys nearly as much as obviously Darien, but I can tell that you try to be on the same page, which I think is like ideal. Like, if you're with somebody in such a close proximity, like we were saying, like you're living under one roof, you're married, like you have to be straightforward with that person, just out of respect and love for them, you know?
One thing I did different with Alex than I did with any other relationship was, and I mentioned this to Darien, I changed the way that I spoke intentionally. And this was not something I had done in any of my other relationships. In past relationships, you know, I can also say that I behaved in toxic ways, you know. I could be combative, or I could be, I get button pushy, you know, like if I sense any sort of sign of weakness, it's like blood in the water for me. Yeah, I can be a bit of a bully.
Right.
You know, so when I got together with Alex, I was like, I'm going to consciously shift gears and only speak to him in a gentle way. No sarcasm, no little digs, no picking, you know, not even if it's play, nothing. And honestly, that set the stage for us to really be able to communicate in a open and honest way, you know, because it sets the stage for trust.
How did you go about doing that? Because like changing all of those things, because those are like sarcasm, that's naturally ingrained in me. So like,
oh, me
like
too.
Changing those things and getting it to not be like the way you speak to the closest person to you. How did you go about doing that?
Honestly, it really is changing your thought process. It's at the outset, now it's second nature to me. People who know me well know that I don't engage in playful teasing even.
Right.
You know, I don't take little digs at people, even if it's in jest. You know, it worked so well with Alex that I've literally applied it to everyone in my life. And really what it started with was just slowing down, you know, creating that stopgap between what I was thinking or what I was feeling and what comes out of my mouth. So it was just being more intentional with my speech, and also, you know, really working on empathizing with the other person. You know, like I just started thinking like Alex and I are on the same team against, you know, in my mind, I was like, it's us against the world, you know, which is not a healthy way to think. But at that time,
fuck everybody.
Yeah, seriously. I was
in the world we're in, you sometimes have to think that way, you know?
So I was like, if all we've got is each other at the end of the day, you know, at the end of our lives, you know, I want this person to be in my corner all the way, 100%. You know, I don't ever want them to doubt that I'm there to support them either, you know? So it's something that, yeah, I've definitely found has revolutionized the way that I interact with people.
And that's amazing, because like just having those natural, like, you know, like we were saying with sarcasm or those things, they're just like a natural click in your brain. And to make that separation between the reaction and then what you're gonna say, like my brain cannot work that way. Like I'm thinking about what I'm gonna say next while I'm saying the last thing, you know, like I'm too much in it right when I'm saying it, that it and that comes with I think my ADHD.
But never say never. It feels like it's, Amo said, like it's something you did intentionally that took time to get used to.
For sure. Yeah. And you know, my work is not done in that regard. You know, currently I'm in DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy, and a lot of it is you know, just rewiring the way that you interact with others. And part of that is distress tolerance, understanding that sometimes in the world you are uncomfortable and it is okay to sit in that. And also holding yourself accountable, you know, if you do something, because I mean, we're all just doing the best that we can in the world. And sometimes we're going to fuck up and hurt people. Yeah. You know, sometimes we're just going to do damage to others. And I think just knowing that is true is very freeing.
Being self-aware.
Yeah. Yeah. But then also, you know, knowing how to mend after that, you know, knowing how to grow forward and hold yourself accountable, you know.
Because I mean, who else do you have control over? You know what I mean? Because that's something I've really learned, is because I have a lot of anxiety. I try to control things because I freak out if I can't have something the way that my brain feels like it needs to be. And
normal.
Well, right. But I've learned that, you know, sometimes you can't control everything, and I only have control over myself, because I've put, you know, you can't have expectations of anybody. You know, obviously, if you have, you know, children, and I have expectations of my kid to eat her vegetables, like those types of expectations. But like, just I guess I don't know where I'm going with that.
I think it's like everything in your life. If you're gonna have expectations, you have to have managed expectations, and keeping that at the forefront of your mind at all times. Because it's like I expect for your child to eat her vegetables as well.
Yeah.
But she will also look at me and be like, no, and go fuck yourself, uncle.
like reasonable expectations.
Or just manage expectations, because you can have an unreasonable one, but just be like, yeah, it's unreasonable, but it's like down the line.
But
it's
expectations goes into that thing like you and I keep talking about of holding shit over people's heads, because if you can hold expectations over someone's head if it's unreasonable.
Okay, I'm saying you can have an unreasonable expectation, but you don't have to act on it or voice it ever, because you just be, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Well, right, but like my brain sometimes doesn't click in the right way, and it'll still, I don't know.
I feel like we just jumped off the Oh man, Amo, thank you so much for sitting with us tonight.
Oh, of course. This has been an absolute delight.
This has been a fucking pleasure. I'm so glad we did this.
Me too.
Yeah, Zencast, you piece of shit.
Yeah, I was so happy when Darien said you were going to come over tonight, because like I said, I love doing it in person. I'm happy I haven't seen you in person in forever.
I know, this is what my lower face looks like. This is what my upper lip looks like.
But it's great, and I thank you so much for coming.
You
here
are
tonight.
very welcome. Thank you for hosting.
Yeah, of course. It was beautiful.
We're gonna have another mic. We're gonna get another mic pretty soon. We'll have you and Alex on. Be tight. We'll call it the Azures.
The Azures.
The Azures. Word up. Thank you all for joining us. If you want to submit any questions or topics, head to bit.ly/FFW grab bag. For more existential humor, remember to rate and subscribe to Food for Worms on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can be anywhere, and you choose to be here, and we appreciate the shit out of you for joining us.
Yeah.
Fuck is wrong with you? As always, check on your strong friends, but not Sam. Tell your people you love them, and remember that you can't take any of this with you. So don't be.
I love you, D.
So don't be fuck you. I was trying to read out the fucking.
Be nice to your tattoo artist.
Yeah, be nice to your tattoo artist. I mean, like, cover your fucking mouth and you don't sneeze. Don't fucking sneeze. Not in today's fucking day and age. But don't be going there fucking doing snot rockets and shit.
And don't come into the shop with a turd in your pocket.
Yeah, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Don't be ready. Don't be. I don't know.
Also, when people are trying to do the fucking outro, don't be talking. Don't be jumping in. Sam, I also love you, but right now you're making it really fucking hard. This has been Food for Worms.
Bye, everybody. Food for Worms podcast is a Kiss Kiss Gang Gang production.
It is recorded and mixed by Sam Sarver.
Executive producers are Darien Washington and Samuel David Sarver.
I don't know why we're talking like this. Theme music is by Muffins by Dresden, the Flamingo.
Find us wherever you get your podcasts and hit us up at foodforwormspodcast@gmail.com
for submissions and inquiries.
Or stupid questions.
Yeah, we're getting our lunch money back from our school bullies.